What's going on, guys? Here, Robby Rowland. I got the Pitch Logic by F5 Sports Baseball to review. If you guys are coming from that comparison video, you're in the right spot. So I'll try to break it all down, give my personal experience and my personal review, honest review. Never try to steer you guys wrong. So Pitch Logic, this is the baseball. Let's see if we can get a little focus piece there. Focus. There it is. All right, so really cool. Just a simple ball. The laces on it are blue. That matters a ton, right? So I think the pitch logic is different from like say a Diamond Kinetics, and if you want to check that review out, you can check right here on YouTube. But it's going to be a little bit different because I think the comparison to like a Rapsodo unit, as far as the vast array of potential data to collect, is right there. So I have the app. Well, I guess I have a picture of the app loaded right here on my phone. As you guys saw in that comparison, you get a ton of different data points, unlike kind of like the Diamond Kinetics, where there's, very simplistic, which I added. If you're somebody that wants the simplistic version of all these, data analytics and pitch analytics stuff that's potentially out there nowadays, the DK ball is good for that. But the pitch logic, like I said, has a vast array, ranging from obviously the ball speed, backward extension, forward extension, total spin, rifle spin, efficiency, backward spin, side spin, vertical movement, horizontal movement, and it's got this little clock face here, which I think people kind of look at and get a little bit confused about. So just to break it down, I think this is a really cool concept to have as far as that pitch clock. It's looking at it like you're looking through a clock, right? So the blue is going to be the spin direction of the baseball, where the orange is going to be your arm slot, right? So for me, I'm a high 3/4 guy, so my arm slot and my spin direction on a fastball are going to be relatively the same. Looking at this one here, they're almost matched up, but I guess the one I pulled up here is a two-seamer, so it's going to be a little bit different. So it's a pretty cool little chart thing to look at, I suppose, if you're looking at optimizing a specific pitch design, because then you can kind of get data points there to collect and something to shoot for. So on a four-seam fastball, you want those relatively as close as possible, and then it would be the opposite for like a curveball, right? So the arm slot up here, if you're a righty, probably within like that 12:30 to 2 o'clock range, and then the spin on the opposite spectrum of that. Whereas if you're a lefty, it's going to look the opposite, right? So it's going to be about 10 to 11 on that clock. So breaking that down, like I said, I think it's a really cool tool and a good visual to look at. You also have an option within the app to kind of go back and change, which pitch it was, and then the ball speed. So this is kind of something that I would say, if you're someone that interested in getting this, and say, hey, why is the speed and the comparisons always different? Right. So the thing that I like about the pitch logic ball is I would say that the velocity is always going to be a predictable miss. So when I talked to David, the creator of the ball, he told me that what separates his company, well, a lot of things, but one of the things was that the velocity is a predictability thing. So you're able to kind of already understand that the velocity is going to be about 2 to potentially 4 miles an hour harder. Why? Because it's getting the velocity as soon as that ball leaves the fingertips, right? So as soon as that ball leaves, that's when it's clocking that velocity. So it's always going to be about 2, 3, 4 higher. I've actually, in my personal experience, have had some that were spot on. I've never, I don't think once, had a velocity that was lower than what like my Stalker gun or Pocket Radar or Rapsodo unit had. Moving on to the other data points, I think to keep it super simplistic is total spin. So this is something that the total spin for me in my experiences, comparing this to like a Rapsodo unit, which I would put at one of the higher standards of collecting pitch data, is the total spin is usually like right in that ballpark of being pretty much precise and hands-on. So the argument to be made on why you would get like a pitch logic ball or a pitch tracker ball, because it's the sensors are in this ball. It's very easy to determine the data analytics from the ball because the sensors are in the ball, whereas like a Rapsodo uses, you know, high-speed cameras and whatnot. And then rifle spin, they actually have an option within the app to hit that rifle spin button, and it'll turn that into spin efficiency. So I remember when they first sent me this, I was sitting here kind of grinding because I was trying to determine that efficiency based on the total spin and the you know, kind of calculating the rifle spin, side spin, and back spin, and trying to determine what that efficiency number was going to look like. And now, like I said, they have that option where you can click the rifle spin, it'll give you that spin efficiency, which I think is huge, when, especially, you know, working with guys that are new to the data analytical scheme. The spin efficiency, you know, how much of the total spin is being portrayed as like the ball movement. I don't know if I just butchered that explanation or not, but for further explanations on that stuff, you can check out my website. I'll try to link some stuff and I'll break it down. But something for me looking at is I really put a lot of emphasis behind the vertical and horizontal movement of a pitch. And the fact that this ball gives that data is huge for me. Now, I will say that the data points from the horizontal to the vertical spectrum are usually, I would say, 50-50 within comparison to like a Rapsodo unit. So again, I think it goes back to the question, the underlying question of what do you put at that higher standard of what is absolute? Because all of the technology and tools that we have nowadays, they're all going to be somewhat different. I think going back to the vertical and horizontal, there's some that have been spot on and then some that have been kind of like drastically different. So there's always going to be that variable. So as you can see, the ball is just a regular ball. I will say, I don't know if it's the way that I've kind of kept it in maybe an office setting and then going out and throw with it. It gets a little bit slippy. I still butcher that word. I think you heard me in the comparison video. It's a lot slippier than a regular ball for some reason. But I will say one of the pros about like a Pitch Logic is you're actually able to replace the leather on a baseball. You send it in and then they'll replace the leather for you, which is a really cool option in case it gets muddy or dirty or whatever. I have another ball. Here's the used one. You can see it's a little worn down, throwing this in the nets and whatnot and what have you. But yeah, so that's another thing I would say is you're able to throw by yourself and pretty much train anywhere. It's kind of like, you know, the Diamond Kinetics ball. I will say, to be completely honest with you guys, that I've had some personal struggles with throwing this at a short distance. The creator mentioned that it was going to be about an 8-foot. You got to have at least 8 feet of room to get those precise pitch metrics. And like for some reason I haven't tried it. I want to hop on a phone call with him and go over it. But I have a backyard setup, and it's over 8 feet. But for some reason I have difficulty getting really good reads with the Pitch Logic ball at that short of distance. But that option is there. Now I will say a huge pro for the Pitch Logic ball, if you're interested in purchasing this, not only can I get you a $25 rebate, you'll see that in the caption or the links below. The biggest pro I think for the Pitch Logic ball is, yeah, the price point's going to be higher, coming in at roughly about $250, but you have no subscription fees. There's no monthly fees. There's nothing. As soon as you purchase the ball, it is yours, and you don't have to re-up any type of subscription like you would do with a Diamond Kinetics or like a Rapsodo unit. Even for the Rapsodo, I have to pay a yearly fee to access all my data. Another thing with the Pitch Logic is you're able to export your data within the app. So you can go within the app and you can export, you know, like I think it's a CSV file onto like a computer or something. Charging, I will say one thing, maybe in the cons region with this Pitch Logic ball, for some reason I haven't really figured this out. Maybe it's on me, who knows? Let me know in the comments if you guys have this problem too. But when I charge it to say like full charge at 100%, and then say I go like 4 or 5 hours before I actually throw a pitch with it, it sometimes will lose a lot of that charging capacity, and then it'll lose connectivity fairly easy when it's a little bit low battery. But for the most part, I make sure to charge it right before my session, you know, with whether I'm throwing by myself or in a bullpen and a catcher, and it's at 100%, and then I'll connect it, all's fine. The connection is really easy, and then I think it holds that connection a lot easier. I have heard people talk about the pitch logic and the misreads because it gets disconnected early. I said this in the Diamond Kinetics video. I think you got to kind of figure out where the right placing is for either the iPad or the iPhone or tablet, whatever you're using to track it. Maybe kind of put it in the middle from the pitcher to the catcher. Maybe that'll help a little bit with the connection. But as far as the connection, like I said, it's really easy to connect. You simply just, the ball's it's always on, and you just connect it, like you hold it against your tablet or your phone or whatever, and then you'll see the connection button, and you hit that connection button and it'll connect, and then it'll give you like what the battery looks like and whatnot. The charging port, I thought I had it. I don't. It's really simple. Not much to it. I guess another pro with the Pitch Logic ball is that you're getting that data on your tablet or your device like that. As soon as that ball releases your hand, that the data is coming up onto your tablet. Whereas like a Rapsodo, you throw it and you have to wait maybe up to like 10 to 12 seconds for that data to appear on the tablet. Pitch Logic, it's right there as soon as it releases your hand. Kind of the same thing with like a Diamond Kinetics. For me, I have to wait until that ball gets back in my hand from the catcher in order to get that data to come up. So I think another cool thing, like I said, with the Pitch Logic is that data comes up right away. So all in all, I think it's a great purchase. Like I said, the biggest things for me is, it's a little bit more expensive, coming at $250 maybe compared to a Diamond Kinetics at $100, but the fact that there's no subscriptions, there's no monthly fees, and you also have the option to purchase new leather on their website is really, really cool. So I think it comes down to who you are as an individual, as a pitcher, what type of data points you're looking for. If you want to take a deeper dive into data and you want to get maybe closer to the data like a Rapsodo offers, this is a really good option for you to purchase. So like I said, $250. I get you a code Robby, R-O-B-B-Y, get you a $25 rebate. But when you're comparing that up to a Rapsodo that's potentially $3,000 to $4,000 and getting relatively the same data that's in the same ballpark, it's up to you. But I think that's all I got for you guys. As you saw in the comparison video, some pitches didn't read. I don't know why that was. I looked back and it still said it was connected. So I think the big thing for me is I'm a guy, when I come set, I have a lot of movement. So like with any pitch tracker, there's got to be a point where you stop and you're completely still for like a second or two, and then you deliver the pitch. I think that's why I was getting those misreads, but could be anything. Like I said, really cool tool to utilize, especially the ability to throw by yourself into a net. I wouldn't recommend throwing it into a fence, probably break down the ball a little bit. Everything that the app gives you is pretty dang cool. There's a lot of data points there. So I'll make sure to include all the links below for you to check out the full review, more footage, more brief comparisons. I'll probably try to do more comparisons as we progress. And if there's anything you ever need from me, my name's Robby Rowland. I'll link the contact me button or link below if you want to reach out to me. If not, hopefully you're following me on all my platforms, all those links down below. And like I said, $25 rebate if you're interested and you want to purchase a Pitch Logic ball.